All right, guys, it's U.S. Open week. We're going golfing with Glasser. Oh, man, is it going to be a beast this week. They literally call it the Beast at Oakmont, one of the hardest courses in the entire world. I'm sure by now a lot of you have seen the videos that have surfaced with the golfers going into the rough and dropping the ball, and you can't even see it. There have been videos out there. Ben Griffin was on a podcast talking about how he would sign up right now for his score for the week to be 4 over par. He thinks that could be good enough to win it this week at Oakmont. This place is a beast, folks. It's truly a beast. The keys this week are going to be accuracy and distance. That's what it's all about. Accuracy off the tee, get the ball in the fairway, and then distance with your irons. These greens are so insanely insane. They're so fast. They're so undulating. It's ridiculous. You have to be precise with your irons. It's not just going to be enough to get it on the green, because if you get it on the green in the wrong spot, I mean, you might have one of these roller coaster putts that are just, it's a nightmare to deal with. So you can't play from the rough this week. You can't play from the rough outside the fairways or around the greens. You have to keep it in the short stuff. You have to keep it in the fairway, and you also have to hit it in the right spots on the green as well. That's going to be the key this week at Oakmont, and it's not easy to do. The weather's looking good Thursday and Friday. It's supposed to be sunny, and it's going to be firm and fast, so it's going to be difficult. But here's some golfers that I would target this week out at Oakmont. We'll start with the favorites, right? Scottie Scheffler at plus 275. It feels like everybody loves Scottie this week, and how could you not? I mean, Scottie Scheffler, guy's playing ridiculous golf, just won the PGA Championship. I am not betting Scottie, though, and I will go as far to say that I do not think Scottie Scheffler wins the U.S. Open this week. It obviously wouldn't surprise me, but I'm not going to bet him to win it. And the reason being, Scottie has to show me that he can win a major championship on a golf course that they don't play year-round, right? Obviously, he's won the Masters twice. They play there every year. He won the PGA Championship in May at Quail Hollow. They play there every year on the PGA Tour. These type of U.S. Open courses like Oakmont, where he only sees once every 8, 10, 12 years, can he win on those courses? I can't bet him at plus 275 until I see that. And keep in mind, as great as Scottie was last year, probably his worst tournament was at the U.S. Open at Pinehurst. You know, just a different kind of course, obviously extremely difficult, and he struggled there. So how is he going to look at Oakmont? Can't get involved with Scottie at plus 275. Bryson DeChambeau, once again, is my guy this week. I highly recommend you guys to go to YouTube and check out Bryson's like 48-minute video. He played all 18 minutes at Oakmont, and you really get to see the course as good as you can before the tournament starts. You kind of get to see his thought processes and just how difficult the course is. But he played it very well. I think his game matches up really well. And half the battle with the U.S. Open is mental, right? It's like in college football when you get some of these smaller schools going up against like powerhouses in the Big Ten or the SEC. Some of those games are over before they even start. A lot of these guys, some of their weeks are already over before they tee off. There's a mentality that goes with the U.S. Open, and Bryson knows he's one of the best in the world, and he can compete on these kind of courses. So I like Bryson at 8-1. Love him at a top 10 at about minus money as well, about minus 110. Jon Rahm is up next. A lot of people are going to like Jon this week. I am not one of them. Doesn't mean he can't win. Doesn't mean he can't contend. 12-1, though. I'm not willing to buy in on him having one good performance at the PGA. I'm going to stay off from him. Rory, I don't want any part of Rory this week. He had some troubling comments for me at his press conference before the RBC Canadian Open. He admitted that he's getting a little lackadaisical and that it's tough to grind on the range for 3 to 4 hours because he feels like he's completed golf, right? He was trying for a decade to win the Grand Slam and win at Augusta. And now that he did that, it kind of is like all those guys that went to live and made their money and then kind of stopped trying, right? Like Cam Smith and DJ. Like, it makes sense. I just don't think Rory's headspace is in a good spot. His game should match up well for Oakmont, but he was awful last week in Canada. I don't think he's going to be this week either, so I'm staying away from Rory. Xander Schauffele is a must-bet top 20 this week at minus 120. There's nobody who's played the U.S. Open better over the last 8 years than Xander. All 8 years, he's finished in the top 20. 7 of those years, he has finished in the top 10. Must-bet Xander at top 20. Some other golfers that I would look at this week, Sepp Straka, outside of Scottie Scheffler, might be the best iron player in the world right now. We talked about a couple weeks ago how difficult the Memorial was, Jack Nicklaus's tournament. and he finished third there. And outside of Scottie, he was second in strokes gained tee to green. So I'd look at Straka. How about Tommy Fleetwood and Russell Henley? Don't know if I would bet those guys to win, but man, you want to talk about accurate golfers. I would rather have guys this week that are shorter hitters like Fleetwood and Henley than longer hitters like Rory or, let's say, somebody else in the field like Alejandro Tosti or whatever, somebody who bombs it, that are in Minwoo Lee, that are in the rough. Would rather have the shorter hitters in the fairway than the longer guys in the rough this week, like Tommy and Russell Henley, both with great, usually track records at the U.S. Open. Tony Finau. There are four courses on the U.S. Open kind of rota that I think are the toughest tests. Shinnecock this week at Oakmont, Winged Foot, and then Pinehurst, where they played last year. How about Tony Finau at those other three courses? All finished in the top 10. He was in the top 10 at Pinehurst, at Winged Foot, and Shinnecock. Tony plays really, really well on tough courses. I'd look at him this week at a placement finish. And then Patrick Reed at 100-1 would be the last guy that I would look at. If Patrick Reed can have a good week driving off the tee, he's still got one of the best short games in the world. And like Tony Finau, Patrick Reed has also played these extremely difficult golf courses very well. He usually shows up in the majors. I like that price, 100-1 next to Patrick Reed's name. So keep an eye out for Fleetwood, Henley, Finau, Patrick Reed. Those are some longer shots that I would look at this week.